Right, yo, what's up? Good morning, good morning. My name's Patrouski. Welcome to a rare educational, or attempted to be educational, Patrouski stream. This grumpy old boomer, 27, basically 1 foot in the grave, is going to be attempting to learn something new today. I'm going to be attempting to learn the 6 pillars gym rerun strategy. And if you're watching the stream live, watching the VOD, you get to see a lot of what goes in to learning something from scratch, learning something like this as a content creator, so that I can portray it to you guys. It's not as simple as people always ask, you know, Patrouski, why don't you have an E4 rerun guide? You know, why don't you have an E4 rerun guide? And I always say, I don't know the strategy. I don't know the method, you know. That's like asking, you know, someone, why don't they have how to become a pro basketball player? Well, unless they're a pro basketball player, they, you know, probably don't know how to do that, right? It takes time and energy to do things. And even though I have 9,000 hours in the game, I've learned a lot of things, right? I don't know everything. This game is so deep. There's so much to do that I always try to tell people I still don't know everything in the game. I'm not the master of PokeMMO. I'm just okay at the game, and I know a few things, and I try to portray that knowledge and guide people the best I can. There's thousands of people who are better at me than at this game, right? So we're gonna jump into what the learning process looks like, going over this document, which I will link around in the stream as well. There's the 6 pillars document, which is very intensive, very long, honestly not my style of learning. It's very type A. A lot of what I do in my guides, I mean, sometimes like the double Blastoise, that gym run route, that updated gym run was a creation of my own. So there's things like that I do found myself, right? However, things like, but that was an adaptation from Rooted Ewok's Double Typhlosion guide back in the day, so keep that in mind. Look how in depth this is. This is a very high detailed, this is a type A type document, which is totally okay. Nothing wrong with that. If anything, it's amazing to have, and other people learn. I'm a type B type person. I'm not going to be able, it's going to be hard for me to learn from this document, but I'm going to try my best. And then a lot of what I do is taking type A content, converting it into a type B guide, and presenting it to you guys in a very simple way. Hey, here's the Pokemon, here's the items you have to use, and then here's the route, you know, and just trying to teach you guys how to do gym reruns, how to do trainer reruns, which are probably the 2 best money making methods in the game right now, especially for like the average player. So it's more important than ever to have a decent gym rerun, a decent Elite Four run, trainer rerun. I mean, Elite Four if you want to, but the barrier to entry is pretty high there. Gym reruns are more important than ever. So I'm going to do my best to try to learn this one today, and just if I can, whether I adapt the strategy outright, which I doubt, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I would like to, right? If it's better for me. It all comes down to whether it's the best for you, right? Find the best gym run for you. Find the one that has the right amount of mental capacity that you can do every single day. It is better to do a gym run that is lower effort that you can do every single day versus a gym run that's really high effort that you only do like 4 days and then burn out, right? Now, if you can do the high effort gym run every single day, you should. That's amazing, right? That's gonna really put you ahead. But thanks for watching. This is PokeMMO Stream Recap 321. Don't worry, you don't have to watch all the other ones. It's your daily source of PokeMMO tips, tricks, information, and news. And today we are learning the 6 pillars gym run. Let's get to it. Also, I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier, but shout out to Free Reign. I actually wouldn't even be able to like make this guide or get into this as soon as I possibly could without Free Reign. Free Reign literally sent me all of these Pokemon. He sent me this team to learn it and make it as a video. So that was really, really generous of him. He didn't have to do that. I always try to encourage, you know, against, donations like that. But when they happen, I really appreciate it, Free Reign. And because of you, I'll be able to look into the strategy and see if it's for me or not. See if it's something I want to make a guide on. So I want to, say thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. It helps with the content a ton. Yeah, something really impressive about this strategy and this document, this has been updated since April 2nd, 2025. They do a really good job of keeping this up to date. The fact that it is a document resource as opposed to a video like mine, right? It makes it easier to update constantly. So there's a lot of positives and negatives to this kind of resource, which is awesome. I'm gonna try my best to like highlight all the positive, like best details of this document. For example, they say something called the 3-turn quota. How this strategy is not a spamming like my typical Typhlosion double gym run strat. This is a little more creative. You have to have solutions. You have to like change your Pokemon and like adjust things, and you want to achieve this 3-turn quota. I think things like this really teach new players, or even expert players or veteran players, what you're shooting for. You're shooting to defeat the gym in 3 turns while also not having to heal every single battle, right? Unless you get hacked, of course. So stuff like that. The 3-turn quota is a really good metric here. Now, with this strategy, the average gym run count you can get is around 27, and that accounts for players with terrible ping. And then it seems like you can get around 29 gyms at your peak. The highest is around 30. Wait. Oh, so you can get anywhere from 27 to 35 gyms with this strat. That's a really interesting like margin. That's a pretty massive margin, but it's interesting. It makes sense. We have more complicated decisions. There's more room for error, more room for higher success. Now, this is not my first advanced strategy that I've learned. At one point, I learned the Xanarchy gym run strategy, which required a lot of item switching and a lot of Pokemon switching. And I concluded that it wasn't worth it for me personally, because it would take so much effort to get to the point where it was making more Pokeyen for me personally. And the mental effort for the Pokeyen, I would have rather just bred for profit for an extra 30 minutes or so, or for an extra 20 minutes or so, than doing a more advanced Jimmy run. I like Jimmy runs that are mostly brain dead, but still make a decent amount of Pokeyen. So I don't know if this is going to be one for me, but I like to learn them all so I can understand the positives and negatives and be able to talk to people in chat when they ask what Jimmy run should I learn. So let's go ahead and keep reading on. I really like this chart as well. This chart might be the best. I might want to do the 7 hells because like this chart is an amazing way. This is kind of the strat that I do currently. Double Typhlosion / Blastoise strat, doing like I do like 22 to 24 gyms. Not using any of your brain. Use a little bit of your brain. 7 hells, RNG-ish heavy it says. Well, I'll test that for myself. 24 to 29 gyms. Use more brain. Tempest Explosion. As someone who learned, this is the Xanarchy strat. This is like, I would call use more brain. I would say use a fair bit of your brain. I guess this is the highest brain usage one on here. Become a record holder. Rainer and Xanarchy, who I've talked to a ton. Make a guide on your own. Yep, yeah. Level up your Mons. Jinx Boon. This is a cool option. I really like. This seems like a really cool option. People in chat seem really like this one. The 5-minute team where you can level up, which is awesome. 6 pillars. Covers using a bit of your brain, muscle memory, because there's a lot of routes. Don't use X items when you're the team. Okay. I'm going to compare 6 pillars. I was going to learn 6 pillars today, but I might end up learning 7 hells. I'm not sure. It depends on which one. Both look really interesting to me. And maybe we'll learn both. I think it's only do one gym run a day, so it's hard to learn like multiple strats like that. Getting into the actual nitty gritty of all the Pokemon. I know all this stuff. A lot of this stuff's going to explain like why the Pokemon have their moves. If you don't understand gym runs enough, you should read all this. Like things like Helping Hand or Swift is a relevant move. Like sometimes you'll click Swift on Typhlosion, you know, so this is like hyper relevant. Yeah, someone said honestly nowadays I think Archeop's team is the best one. So I've started moving away from the word best when it comes to almost any money-making methods in PokeMMO. Because 3 or 4 years ago, or 2 to 4 years ago, I think it was fine. Because we didn't know nearly as much as players. As players, like, the average player was making like 80k an hour, 60k an hour farming Everstones back on like Kanto Island 1 back at like 3-4 years ago, right? That was what the average player was doing. Or like payday pickuping for like 120k an hour, right? It was really, we just didn't know as much, and guides weren't as ever present, right? Nowadays, we have learned so much as players. We have learned so much, and our information is spreading so much. I don't know if it's like, there's not that many players that are just wildly inefficient anymore, unless they want to be, obviously, which is more power to them. Out of negligence, most people know the strategies now and know things. It's more of a what's the best for them. It's like this, like the chart above explained. I think nowadays, I don't like using the word best. Like, you can say, oh yeah, maybe Xanarchy strat's the best because it makes the most Pokeyen, but the average person can't really do it, can't really do it consistently, it's difficult. Like, I think it's really important to acknowledge, like, every Jimmy run is for someone, nothing is the best. Yes. Every like money-making strat nowadays, almost every money-making strat has positives and negatives. We are moving past the era of what's the best strat in Pokemon. We're moving into the era of what's the best for each individual player. We're learning players' learning styles, and we're trying to, for 2 to 4 years ago, we didn't have any guides. So we just created all the guides possible, right? And it was everything was the best. Nowadays, we have so many guides, players can pick and choose, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We're getting more attuned to people's learning styles, and people have more decisions, and you have more power as a Pokemon player and as a content viewer to decide what methods are best for you, which is more important than ever. So I think we're moving past, oh, like this method is bad because it makes less Pokeyen, and we're getting into, okay, this is positives and negatives. I prefer this one. I prefer that one. It was just a beautiful, beautiful thing in my opinion. So we're learning a ton as a player base, and we're going to keep learning by reading guides like this. Okay, I've read through the entire document. now we have a decision. I can just go try the beginner's route for 6 pillars, or we could go try to like learn 7 hells. I don't know. I don't have a Pokemon for this. What's the team for this one? So I'm probably gonna go ahead and I might just have in my boxes, to be fair. I might just have these Pokemon built. I'm hopefully have an Excadrill somewhere. I might not, honestly. So we're gonna do the, I'm gonna bookmark the 7 hell strat. We're gonna try that tomorrow, maybe, or we're gonna learn that one as well. But for now, let's just go ahead and try the beginner's route for sorry, let's try. The learning is breaking my brain. For 6 pillars. There's 6 pillars and 7 hells. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and start my first attempt, my first run ever for 6 pillars. I'll probably do a full video on that if you want to see the full first attempt, the first full run. I like to show that to show like what a true beginner, what a true noob learning a new strat looks like. And then if I end up liking the strat, I'll make a video on it. If not, you know, we'll see. Okay, one thing I do have to critique about this guide, holy shit, all the Pokemon are color-coded, and you have to remember what their colors are. So when you scroll down and it shows the first gym, it just says Water Spout plus Helping Hand. You have to remember that this exact shade of like, maybe I'm just like colorblind. This like pink, but it's like not quite pink, is Togekiss. There's also a purple that's Weezing. There's a light blue that's a teal that's Vanilla. It's like a, and like a blue, a light blue that's a Garchomp, like an Aqua, and like a dark blue that's a Blastoise. Yeah, rip colorblind. This is a crazy. I'm gonna have to like, I'm gonna have to screenshot the legend to have it on a different monitor or screen, and then also because I can't scroll back up every time. That would be insane. So we're gonna try. That's a weird. I'd rather just say the name of the Pokemon every time, or just say like TG for Togekiss uses, you know, or like B Blast, you know. Yeah, that's the color coding thing is crazy to me. That's just not my learning style. Once again, it's different per person. This is why these guides are so beautiful and interesting, and everybody makes a different guide for different people. Whew. Let's jump into our first attempt. I think we're finally ready. Yo, shout out in chat. Number 1, whoever the fuck made this. Fucking, I hope you have the best shiny luck of all time. Number 2, whoever linked it in chat, GBT. Let me go, this is beautiful. This is the same strategy, the 6 pillar strat, but look at how it's presented. This makes way more sense for my brain, personally. This is so, it goes on the beginner route, Hoenn, Lava Ridge. It shows you like where to go, how to get there. The gym leader, lead. It tells you what to lead with. Lead Blastoise to Togekiss. If versus Houndoom Arcanine. Water Spout Hyper Voice. Otherwise, this is amazing. I will link this. Hopefully, all of these resources should be linked below the stream recap description. If they're not, you can yell at me. This is an amazing. Yell at me in the comments. This is a beautiful resource. Shout out to whoever made this. This is gorgeous. This will work way better for me. The community of PokeMMO, man. You guys are killing it, dude. I'll link this for sure, Fuzzy. There's so many different guides, and it's a beautiful way for different people of different learning styles to learn things. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, but it's important. Okay, I want to calculate whether I should use a Amulet Coin, Riches Charm 75%, or Riches Charm 100% while doing my first run of this gym rerun. Now, I know that you can do a maximum of 29 gyms in the hour. I probably won't do that, but I'm going to try my best. You can go use an exact, there's tons of exact calculators. I know Cav is a calculator, PokeMMO Hub, most PokeMMO help websites have a calculator. As someone, I don't use those calculators. I feel like they're overkill. I feel like you don't need to be exact. What I normally do, what I understand is that the average Pokeyen you get from a gym when popping an Amulet Coin is 13,500. The average Pokeyen you get from a Riches Charm 75% is usually around 15k to 15,500, and then for a Riches Charm 100%, it's usually around 17k, right? You can do 13. I'll probably do 13, 15, 17 to make it easier. They might all be around 500 or so, but that's how I count. It's super easy. You don't need exact numbers. You just want like close enough, and that'll help you make your decision. So the way you do it, if I'm going to be attempting to do 29 gyms an hour, I have a calculator in the bottom middle of the screen, obviously. We're going to do 29 times, We'll do from Amulet Coin up to 100% Charm. I doubt the 100% Charm is worth it. So Amulet Coin is 13k. What's the Amulet? 13, 15? Yeah, Amulet Coin's 13k or so. It's technically 13.5, but we're just gonna lowball, right? 13k or so. So that's 377,000 Pokeyen minus the cost of Amulet Coin. So you would subtract 18, like 19k, right? Subtract 19k. So that would leave you with 358K profit, right? Yeah, we're going to get the same numbers, Capondro. This still helps you get to the same answer. So that was, sorry, 358K was the profit for Amulet Coin. Next up is Richest Charms, 75%. Is about 67K, okay? I'm going to do 29 times 15. Just get a rough estimate. 15K minus 67K. Leaving us with a profit of 368. So it's 10,000 more Pokeyen. Just barely, slightly more worth to use a 75% charm based on that math. Now, 100% are way more expensive. I doubt these are worth it. But these are going to up your profit to like 17K per gym. So you do 17K times 29 minus 130K to get your profit. Now, your revenue, you want your profit number. 63. So it's a little bit less. Yeah, if you could do more gyms or do like an E4 rerun to start this, that might make it more worth, right? But, yeah, we should be getting around. So Richest Charm 75% should be lightly better. This is my first time doing this run. It's very likely I don't do 29 gyms. I probably do way less. Maybe I'm aiming for like, if I can do 24 plus gyms, I'd be really happy with that. That'd be more gyms than what I currently do in my current run. So I'm aiming for 24 plus. Having said that, I probably should just pop an Amulet Coin, honestly. Just to, because I probably will just pop an Amulet Coin. Because it's my first run, I'm probably going to do less, so we're going to go ahead and do that. But it's good to run over the math, just so you know. I'm not procrastinating doing the gym rerun, you are. But I have a really cool story to tell, okay? This is worth it. Razor has himself here. I probably shouldn't. I spoiled the story, but whatever. Razor sent me this Discord DM. I'm ruining the story. Sent me this Discord DM 10 months ago. He said, yesterday, I won a catch event, and today the luck ran out. I got a shiny Riolu, and it fled from him in the Safari Zone. The craziest 2 days of his PokeMMO journey so far. Well, it's been 10 months since that moment, and he has reclaimed his lost Safari Zone shiny Riolu. 10 months later, he got this. I told you a few weeks ago, I was on stream, I was egg hunting it, and you wished me good luck. And here it is. He got himself a shiny Riolu to make up for the one he lost. He linked it to me in game. I mean, that's the kind of perseverance in PokeMMO shunning story you want to highlight and you want to talk about. It's not easy to come back from losing such a shiny like that in the Safari Zone. Most people would probably quit the game, whether permanently or at least for quite a while, for 10 months, you know? Like, but he kept playing. He kept going for it, and he got that rare shiny. So huge shout out to him. That is really fucking impressive. All right, we finished our first ever attempt of the 6 pillars gym run strategy. I'll be uploading the full video of me, that whole attempt, up on YouTube at some point. If you're interested and want to follow along as a sort of guide, as well as obviously all the sources will be linked there below that description. Now, I started with 215K. Almost 400K is pretty bonkers. I did 26 gyms. Chat's already calculated how much profit it is. I did 26 gyms on my first ever attempt, which I'm very happy with. I was aiming for 24. 26 would have been like, I would have been ecstatic, and I'm kind of ecstatic. So let's do 592K as our ending yen. Minus, obviously, on top of the 31 mil, minus 215K. You do have to subtract the cost of Amulet Coin. That is 377,000 Pokeyen minus 18K for the Amulet Coin. 360K. I'm really happy with that. That includes 2 trainers. Oh, that's true. No, you're right. I did get, you're correct. I did get 10K from the 2 trainers, I believe. Yes, 11K. That's a good call. Good call. So we're going to subtract 11K. So my true money, because I did do these 2 rich trainers at the end. But my true profit from doing 26 gyms in 1 hour was around 350K. It was almost exact. It was 348,000 Pokeyen profit. That is after the cost of Amulet Coin. So I'm thrilled with that. For like my first ever run, obviously you could practice the run and make more, make upwards of like 370K or so. Yeah, I'm really happy with that as a first attempt. 350K. That's definitely more than I would normally make right now with my other run. I will be trying to do this in the future. I will be trying to I will be trying to do this. I'll be trying to learn this tomorrow for sure. You should only do Jimmy runs every 18 hours or so, but I will definitely attempt this tomorrow again to see if I can do better. I think constantly upping your PB and getting a little bit better would be really nice. And then eventually I'll probably try to make a guide on this. I really like this strat. It's definitely pretty difficult comparatively to the super brain dead Typhlosion strat, but it's medium difficulty in my opinion. And I think it's I think it's worth learning and following along. The extra profit, you probably make like 60 to 80K more Pokeyen per hour, which really adds up. Let's just lowball it. Let's say you make 50,000 more Pokeyen per hour doing this strat versus just double Typhlosions and double Blastoise. 50K more Pokeyen after 1 week is a whole nother Jimmy run, right? So after 1 week, you're earning a whole nother Jimmy runs of extra profit. So it adds up. It adds up. Awesome. Now what do we do is the next question. I'm going to paraphrase, but this is a great question. Vlad says, hey, I knew you like talk about burnout a lot with the game and how a lot of people like burn out for event season or after event season, et cetera, et cetera. I constantly go through the same struggle of only really doing one event per event season. And I usually do Halloween, and that just like suits me personally. Then I skip the other events. My question is, if you could only choose one event, which one would you play essentially? Now, you probably should play the one that's most fun for you. If you like spooky Halloween, if you like that vibe, you should just play Halloween. Have fun. Like, don't hyper worry about it too much efficiently, right? But if you want the efficient answer, I can give it to you. Generally, I think the Lunar New Year event is the best event in terms of like profit, investments. The Lunar New Year event is just consistently insane. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why. The Chinese player base is just huge. The vanities are often really beloved. The sealed product, yeah, I think the mysterious balls, the shaman, the raids, like almost everything from the Lunar New Year event almost always ends up being the best and always ends up making the most Pokeyen and being the best investments. And yeah, I think the Lunar New Year event is almost undebatably, yeah, people in chat are wildly agreeing. The Lunar New Year event is insane for profits. I think it's the most important one. And it also a huge reason is because of people like you. Not to like, I feel bad, Vlad, but like people like me abuse the fact that a lot of people burn out. It goes Halloween event, Christmas event, Lunar New Year. A lot of people burn out or run out of Pokeyen to make investments by the Lunar New Year event. So if you don't really plan stuff out, a lot of people are either burnt out or out of cash by the Lunar New Year event. So it's like, because of that, it ends up being, there's less investments made, which ends up being the best room for profits and the best investments. So if you're only going to play one event, I think the Lunar New Year is the best for efficiency, but play the one that you vibe with the most. If you like Christmas, if you like Halloween, if you like the Lunar New Year event vibe, at the end of the day, it's a mixture of fun and efficiency in a game like an MMO, All right, but I can finally, dude, shout out to Vincer Plays, my PokeBroker. He was communicative to me throughout this process and a good extra compliment about how slow the market is. Look at this. It took him a while to sell everything. This concludes the 2025 PokeBroker profits. For those who don't know, I sent him off a ton of Pokemon. Like, I think it ended up being like 8 to 12 boxes of Pokemon. Something crazy, right? And he sold them all. He sold them all for me, and he gets 30% of all the sales, all the profit. So he gets, it's worth it to him, right? But that's my profit. I don't have to deal with it. I don't have the time. So that adds 3 mil to my Pokeyen stack, which I'm happy to see, All right, we are heading over to Ruin Valley with this absolute banger in the background. We're going to go for random legendary chance and just see what happens. One of the coolest shunting locations in PokeMMO. If we happen to get a lucky Yanma, it'll be my lucky day. The type of content I'd be doing on stream after completing my goals for the day that the stream recap usually misses out on. Alright, I have been live for officially 5 hours, and it's been a full stream, dude. We did some shiny hunting, we saw some wide duck ass, we learned some new money-making methods, we experimented, we tested, we talked and yapped a ton as always. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon videos every single day. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. If you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, PayPal/Venmo donations, and as well as HelloFresh. HelloFresh is really the best way to support the channel. Plus, you support me, you get yourself some awesome food, and you support the stream, the community, the content. For every HelloFresh sub, it extends the streamathon at the end of the month, most likely on May 31st. I will open 10 mysterious Pokeballs, increasing my shiny chances dramatically for a cool shiny on stream, and I'll give away a prize box Pokemon per HelloFresh sub. So you get 50% off using my code, first link in the description. Go check that out. Otherwise, just have a great day. Good luck on all your shunts, guys. Have a good one. I will see you tomorrow for the final stream of the week on Thursday. See you guys later. Peace, Reno. Yo, Patrouski here, and I wanted to thank you personally for watching the video until the very end. I really, really appreciate that. And if your name is on this list, thank you to the moon and back, because you allow me to even make these videos by supporting the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.